Hi. Uh this is going to be an update episode. Not really an episode, just an update to kind of just look back on last year and reflect on what we got accomplished and the things we want to do for 2023 and welcome to 2023. If you've been listening to us for a while, I want to say thank you. Your support means so much to us. It's one of the main reasons we keep doing this. That and the fact there's still some horny ass degenerate shit we want to talk about. But I'm gonna let Puce say his piece for a little while, and then I'm gonna come back and reflect on my own thoughts and feelings. So until then, I will see you guys later.
So, going into it, setting up the podcast, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I was looking forward to recording with Minka and Alt. They both seem like really great people, and I figured I'd get to know them even more through this project. Going into this podcast, I was excited to see what kind of guests we'd talk to, what kind of topics we'd cover. Everything just seemed really fun. Versus what actually happened is honestly all of what I expected. I got to get to know Minka and Alt better than I thought I ever would. I got to talk to a lot of new people, talk a lot about new subjects I never thought I'd talk about. It was really fun. In terms of guests, we had quite a few. We had Beetle, we had Alt's friend B, B's friend Sarah, we had Oh My Gulf, and I think I'm missing somebody, but I'm not sure. But they were all amazing people, and hopefully that means we'll have a lot more fun guests in the future. Next year, finding guests, I really hope we can find a large variety of people to talk to, whether that be artists, or content creators, or sex workers, or just people who want to talk about sexual topics and just kind of get to know us and we get to know them. A lot of the topics we talked about this year were really interesting. I liked the more out there and goofy ones, like the human furniture episode was really funny. And honestly, my favorite episodes were usually the ones with guests because it was more people to talk to and get to know. As far as next year goes, I do really hope that we get to talk about. I hope we get to talk about more subjects that just more people want to talk about. Hopefully, we get to bring in more of an audience, and just in general, get to talk to more people, bring in more guests. Maybe even make it feel more like we're in a lounge, even though I know Alt is not a big fan of that. It's honestly quite a lot of stuff I hope we get to do. Whether that's just the three of us just chilling, talking for an hour about who knows what, or if we just talk about one subject for an hour, or just in general, just talking to a guest about what they love to do in life. Honestly, doing this podcast has really opened me up. And I hope that whenever people listen to our episodes, it inspires them to get to talk about this stuff more, whether that just be within our community or with just people they know in life. There's been quite a lot of stuff that I never thought I'd be so open about talking about, but during this podcast, it's just like I get to talk about whatever I want, and Minka and Alt will hopefully not judge me too hard about anything. And I'll listen to whatever they have to say, and I won't judge them. What I hope for going forward, and hopefully just in general, is that the podcast does slowly pick up in views and that more people will listen, if only just to become more aware of each other, or to make this kind of stuff less of a taboo to talk about. But just in general, I just want more people to be less afraid to talk about what's on their mind, whether it is sexual topics like we discuss here on the podcast or just in general about anything else.
So yeah, it's how Puce felt about stuff and things. It's wild. He got Dee's name wrong. He got it off by 2 whole letters. That's crazy to me. But I just wanted to piggyback on a few things. Like, yeah, getting the podcast just up and going was a bit of a nightmare. One, trying to figure out where to host it, finding a good place to host it that would populate all the websites at once. Getting the third co-host was a headache and a half, and just like generally coming up with topics that we think are interesting enough to talk about for an hour plus is super fucking difficult. Like, I didn't think it would be this hard. But I do think the episodes we put out were mostly okay. Little rough in the beginning since we're still figuring out our footing. I mean, the fuck, we're still figuring out our footing right now. We have a good idea of where we want to go. Puce did mention expanding, but he's still kind of in the box when it comes to that. I want to expand way more. Like, I want to poke my nose into TikTok and see how all that shit works, because that's just a bunch of Zoomers doing fucking Zoomer shit. I feel like there's a space for us somewhere in there, but I don't know. I want to start making Twitch content because I have all the Senran Kagura games, and those would be super easy and in our wheelhouse to just stream, since the horny generic bullshit. So writes itself, super easy. Maybe some type of YouTube content, or well, definitely Patreon content, since we do have a Patreon. We just don't really push it since that's being super phased out, which is really, really annoying. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Because I have some stuff on the way that we could make content around, but that's going to be really difficult. But we'll try to see what we can do. As far as next year, we have a whole slew of topics to talk about, but getting everyone to record on the same day has been a bit of a chore because the holiday season, I only have one day off, and Minka's doing girl boss shit. So yeah, that's why she hasn't been in the last 2 episodes. She might be in this one. I don't really know. But yeah, we want to talk to other people to get other perspectives. Like, we do want to talk to artists to just see how they go about their horny bullshit. Yeah, but in like terms as far as expanding, I'd like to get everyone XLR microphones in interfaces, but that's like a $500 investment per person, and we ain't making that type of money. Well, I'll make that type of money, but we as a whole are not making that type of money. I don't know how we get to the point where we make that type of money. That would be super great, but not everyone's willing to do the thing. I don't think the first 8 months of episodes, they weren't too bad. Just grabbing anyone who will say yes probably isn't the best idea, as you can tell by some of the episodes. We definitely need to have like a protocol going forward. We're gonna try to put that in place, but I don't know, man. Shit's difficult, and trying to get people to listen to you is also really fucking hard. And there's like a handful of topics I want to talk about personally, but that involves doing research, and not everyone has the time or motivation to do that. So we'll see what we can get done. And yeah, hopefully this year we can get some growth, talk about some things that people are too afraid to talk about or just aren't necessarily marketable. That's another problem we have. We don't know how to market ourselves. So, hey, if you know how to do that, hit us up and talk to us. But yeah, that kind of is it for my part. I'd like to keep going and talking about degenerative bullshit because it's fun. It's very good. It's therapeutic to a degree. Depends on what you're talking about. And I hope we get the chance to just talk to some really interesting people who do some wild ass shit. 'Cause that would be fun. But that's it. That's all for me. Oh yeah, we're gonna be shut down for like 2 weeks because people are busy. Like even the guests we have booked, they're like, "Hey, can we reschedule?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." So yeah, if you don't hear from us for a little while, we're doing stuff. We're trying to get shit handled because life's hard.